Hello! Welcome to the last video in the little Week of Ensler series. I'm going to be talking about a book that I truly and dearly love, and that is In the Body of the World. In the Body of the World is her latest memoir, and to summarize what the front jacket description said, because I think it actually described it quite well and better than I could really, it prefaces it as discussing how Ensler's activism has been largely comprised of and dedicated to women's bodies and how we talk about them, how to value them and protect them. However, Ensler was disassociated from her own body for most of her life because of her history of sexual abuse from her father and the remoteness of her mother. And then while she's working in the Congo with women who are survivors of sexualized violence and she's working to build the City of Joy, she is diagnosed with uterine cancer. The narrative of this memoir is about how by connecting to her own illness and the trauma that she has manifested in her body throughout her life in terms of her own experiences, as well as through the work that she's done, she is able to connect to herself and the world essentially, and she's able to start actually healing, and thus she becomes part of the body of the world. The book is structured in a series of what she calls scans, and she discusses how that's the only way that she could really conceptualize them. They're not like chapters or like sections, they're just scans of looking at her past and currently what she's dealing with in terms of her treatment and the work that she's doing. Ensler is a brilliant writer, and even like the first two videos I made where I was very critical of her more creative or fictionalized works, the criticism still stands, but it didn't negate the fact that she is an incredible writer. This book is visceral in how she is describing illness and describing her body and how her body is being treated. She is just so like vulnerable in this book, and she is so just like discussing the humiliation of the invasive medical practices. I have such a deep affection for this book because it was so powerful to me. Part of what was like really like powerful to me was like seeing her go through a process of healing. Reminded me that writing could be healing. Like that's something like I forgot that oftentimes writing is an exercise in healing. As I've mentioned before on this channel, I love memoir and life writing, particularly women's life writing. And part of the reason that I love it so much is because I always feel like I learn the most from women's memoirs, and I feel like I find myself the most in other people's memoirs. Something I haven't talked about on this channel is that I have a very tumultuous, complicated relationships to relationships in terms of like friendship, with which I highly value, and then romantic sexual relationships, which I don't think should be valued as highly. And like I just have spent so much time trying to dissect and understand the way that I am capable of loving, and there's just a section in this book that 100% encapsulated it, which I will read out if you ever want to understand me better as a person, you know? So this is what she says when she's talking about love. I am not against two people loving each other. Please understand, only the elevation of this love as the highest expression of love. God bless. Maybe love comes to some of us differently. Maybe we love our women friends as deeply or humanity as deeply. I am happy for those who find one person to satisfy their need for love. This has not been my story. I have not loved one man or one woman in the same way I have not wanted my child. I have loved that energy that propelled me around the planet. I have loved some immediately and for a short time, and others slowly and forever. I cannot say that the men I ended up living with or sleeping with were more important loves. Those loves went on longer in a more organized, committed, daily way. That was a good thing and not a good thing. Love is ever expanding, and so it needs space, air, movement, freedom. That blew my mind to be able to like read someone articulating exactly what I had been feeling and struggling with for so many years. And so I think this book also gave me like a little bit of hope for being like older. Like it kind of like made me feel like, okay, so if Eve Ensler is still like doing cool shit at her age, like maybe I could be too. I also feel like some of the stuff that she even mentions, even if she doesn't really go into in this book, I feel like I could be wrong, but to me it seemed like a more, oh, I don't want to say mature, I don't like that language, a more, like it felt like she was discussing issues differently in this book than in the first two books that I talked about this week. Like I feel like this helped me understand her more and understand where she's coming from. If you're someone who likes memoir, if you're someone who likes Eve Ensler, if you want to, you know, complicate your feelings about Eve Ensler, or that sounded interesting to you, I would definitely recommend this book. Like I said, it was one of my top 5 books of last year, probably of all time. I will definitely reread this book. Like it's very important to me. Like it's weirdly important to me, actually. I forgot how much I loved this book until I started thinking about how I wanted to talk about it and what I wanted to say. That brings the week of Ensler to a close. Thank you for watching, and I keep forgetting to bring this up, and it has been in the description of most of my last recent videos, but Can Week is starting in like a week. It's starting on July 25th, which is next Monday. Oh my god. So I will have a Google Doc linked below of the schedule, the uploading schedule that I have for this Can Week. And then there is also a list of all the other books that I will be reading for subsequent Can Weeks. Most likely, which will be like the 3rd week of August and probably one at the end of September as well. So please also be a part of that, maybe. Think about it. Summer makeup goals is to like look sweaty, but it's actually just your highlight. What's up? Hi. That's what 3 layers of different highlighting products does.